Come here. Come here, boy. Come on. Yep. Soon, you're gonna go to another place. You're gonna miss me. You ain't gonna have me to pick on no more.
The BLM is running close to 47 to 50,000 horses in holding right now. When you have a program like this, you're going to help horses get adopted quicker because the general public sees these horses as, well, if the inmate can do that, I can do that. But the huge win is the fact that it costs $50,000 to hold a horse in long-term holding for the life of the horse. So every horse that gets adopted saves the taxpayers $50,000.
Chris, before Wild Horse Program was, I mean, this is it, gangster, and I didn't care about myself or anybody else, to tell you the truth. They're crazy, they're wild. So am I in a lot of ways. They get taken from their environment, rounded up, brought into a holding facility. They don't know anybody, they don't know anything in that facility, they didn't ask to be there. To us, we're on the streets, we're running. You take us out of the wild, put us in holding facilities, take us away from what we know, and expect us to comply. Love? I love my horse. I feel bad for him sometimes, sympathy. You know, I get excited for him when he figures it out. Oh, thank you. That's my boy right there. You can't be yourself and not caring about anything and be that tough guy. Want to be gangster, whatever. You can't be that and make that connection over there. You have to give a part of yourself too. I'm not gonna hurt you. Otherwise, that horse is just gonna keep running from you because they're scared. You're a predator, and that's all they do is survive, like us. All right, welcome. You know, so you have to open yourself up and slow down in order to make that connection. And when you do, it's powerful. And that's where it starts transferring from the horse to your real life. Tired of going out to nothing. So it's just woke something up in me.
Statisticians and researchers who specialize in recidivism rates for high-risk offenders, the stats show that if you give them the right behavior modification programs in the right doses, you can make a difference in 15% of high-risk offenders. So some would say, well, that's not very much. Some would say, well, that's meaningful and that's a lot. The first thing that happens to most of these guys when they get out of jail or prison is, where am I going to sleep tonight? How am I going to eat? And where am I going to get money? And most of these men have burned out their family and extended family. And so they call up their friend, homie, and whatnot, and they're happy. Hey, did you just get out? Yeah, of course you can come to my house and you can couch surf at my house. And bang, it starts all over again.
I get out there and nothing to fall back on. You know, there's no excuses. I get out there and I get to using, and everything's out the window.
He's learned a tremendous amount, but his desire, once he saw the horseshoeing school come out here, and he said, man, I can do this. And he can, because he's very conscientious, takes his time. He has the hand-eye coordination to do that. He's built for it. He's short and he's got tough legs. He's able to get down there. He saw that this is an area that I can do and I could probably make a living and take care of myself and my family in the future. I think he's going to go and do well, as long as he remembers that it's all about choices. Because that other choice to go back to the old lifestyle is very easy. The hard thing's going to be toughing it out and living with the stigma that he has, leaving here being, you know, an ex-con.
My hopes is that I'll be able to get some help from somebody or somewhere and make it to farrier school. The tuition's $6,700. We had hoped that we'd have funding through AB 109, but that's looking like a struggle or a challenge. I'm wanting to and willing to make a change in my life and to work for it. I'm not necessarily asking for a handout. My fear is that I would go through all this and fall flat on my face, but I have to keep that negative thinking out. Yeah, I've done that a million times. You know, I know how to do that. I need to do something different.
Government wastes a lot of money on a lot of other ridiculous things far, far beyond this. And if you're full of cynicism and resignation and dislike for criminals, well, then you're just not going to feel that way. But if you want to save some lives and reduce crime and spend some tax money on something that can really make a difference in lives, then why not? Why not?
The day I left jail started in the morning. I got a call to hurry up. Come on, let's go, you ready? All the other ones, I didn't have a plan. My only plan was to make it to the first liquor store and get to the homeboy so I could get my first fix. It's empty. My heart was shut off, and that's just no way to live. At this time, I didn't want anything to do with it. I have my family in my life now. I have a good outlook on life. I have a possible future, and I'm alive. Without him, I wouldn't be here. He brought me out of a shell. I had a hard coat.
I'd rather see the horse come back and get an opportunity to get more riding and then make a proper fit, hopefully, in the next adoption. That's the whole point, is to find him a forever home.
Now he's grown to realize that people really aren't trying to hurt him.
An inmate is a product of their environment, the choices that they make. If you were to turn Zephyr loose in the wild, he would survive. He understands it. That's where he came from. That's his home. He's going to revert back to being wild. So if an inmate gets released and goes right back to the same environment that he came from, his chances of survival of staying clean, staying true, and not recommitting and coming back to jail are almost slim to none. It's going to happen.
Recovery's first. I'll put recovery above everything. Because without it, I already know I'll fail. You know, I have to look for guidance and be able to be willing to accept it.
Out in the real world where you're trying to get to, right? If I don't put a finger on him, even though I'm right here, he has no right to hit me.
I don't know the way. Obviously, my way's not working. So I've done that. I've reached out, opened up, and just been willing to learn.
Everyone close your eyes, okay? Now, picture your daughters. Sweet, innocent, hopefully, right? You love them, you care for them, right? You want the best for them in the world. Now, they bring home someone that's just like who you have been.
I'm gonna kill him.
Now, open your eyes. Did you smile at that last thought?
No. My daughters, that's always tricky. None of us really know exactly how to deal with it yet, but I believe if I keep building up, just keep doing what I'm doing, and hopefully they'll be able to trust that if they do decide they want to express their feelings to me other than lashing out, that I'm not going to go away again. I'm not going to abandon them or go back to using, because I know that's got to be the fear, right? That's what it always was for me, my dad. Like, if I tell him how it felt for him not to be there or be in prison my whole life or wherever, he may not accept me, or he may go back to doing what he was doing, and then I'm going to feel that guilt too. They say the horse emulates their owner or their trainer, and yeah, we're a lot alike. He's just doing what he's doing to survive and to protect himself, and a lot of my life I thought I was too. I lived everything out of the moment and in survival mode. I want to live. I don't want to just exist anymore. There's no way I'm going back.
If he can get through this school, seem focused on finally turning his life around, we're going to turn him into a tax-paying citizen, hopefully, instead of somebody that's stealing cars and doing drugs and doing all the kind of things drug addicts do.
I know that for my own self, I have a faith in God. I believe in Jesus Christ as my Savior, and I don't think He ever gives up on anybody. So that's what I would have to say. But, society would probably say that there's a person that can't be rehabilitated. I don't think that's up to me to judge.
Locking up people for serious crime, I believe in, and I believe in long sentences for them, because the people that don't commit crime, who we are responsible for protecting, and the best way to protect them is to keep criminals out of their neighborhoods and things like this. But I also think once you've been punished by the courts and you're going to be released from your sentence, that $200 gate money isn't the answer, when they walk out of jail without any kind of support system.
The state of California has recently decided that all vocational and trade schools in California, the school has to be able to demonstrate that the student is capable of working at a college level. And it's an absurdity for trade schools to be handcuffed with this requirement. We fill the gap for these guys that are not college bound. I'm taking a big risk with Chris, but the investment is worth it.
The hardest part for me is academics. By far, I'm dyslexic. I'm hard to learn. It's just not. I don't comprehend well.
The prisons are full of people with learning disabilities and no formal education. I mean, that's part of the pattern they get into. And so to rehabilitate them, what do you do with them? In California now, you can't teach them a trade. So you can't break that cycle. The recidivism rate is going to go out the roof. These guys are going to only be dishwashers, minimum wage jobs. That leads to depression. It leads to the inability to think your life is worth something. You see Chris's enthusiasm? He's on the road to be able to create his own life, to be able to make a good living, to do something he loves to do, playing with horses. That's how you bring these guys out of the system and change their life around, by giving them hope.
You don't really know freedom until you've lost your freedom, is how I believe. So if you want a true sense of freedom, you can't be any freer than working with horses, being your own boss. Nobody can tell me you can't get a job because you're a felon, and the horses don't care.
He's not slipped up once. He is totally dedicated. Everything you ask of him, he does. He's got questions he asks, and you'll always see him in here late at night. You'll see him in the forge area first thing in the morning. It's just a complete dedication to making this work.
I'm spending somebody else's money, and I have a lot of people looking at me and a lot of guys counting on me, and that's a good driving force. You know, I don't want to waste my time, their time, and I surely don't want to waste somebody's retirement. Oh, yeah. So when I feel a little tired or what, you know, poor me, I suck it up, Cupcake. You know, this is 8 weeks to get everything I can, not just for me, but for the people that helped me get here.
Well, it's kind of like a bit of a dream come true to see a guy that dedicated himself to change, and me knowing the hard part of going through that school, how hard that is. It's not an easy school.
I got a lot of hope for Chris, and I told him when he graduated, I said, the only thing I want from you is pass it forward. Help somebody out someday. Now, we're good. That's the best payback I can get.
He stepped in there with a lot of strikes against him. I gave him a lot of credit for that. I was very proud of him for determining to make it through. And then to be third in the class, absolutely amazing. It just proves that anybody that's determined to do something that's right, I think Teddy Roosevelt said, if you're right, just keep coming. Nobody's going to stop you.
Bittersweet, just like you're leaving here. You know, I didn't want it to be over, but it was. Now it's time to get out in the real world, and it was the first day of the rest of my life.
We knew we were going to get horses adopted. We knew that there was a vocational application to the program through the 6 phases of the natural horsemanship training course. We believed that there could be a behavior modification that would occur with the man. And that's all being affirmed, particularly through Cole Casey. And if he can do it, other men can follow and do the same.
I want these guys to know that it's possible. Anything's possible. If you dream it and you're willing to work for it, there's people that are out there that will help you and support you. I mean, you got to go out there and get it yourself, but there's people that will open up any door for you. You just got to walk through it and get it. And I want them to see that it's real life. It's not just a maybe or a hope and a prayer. It really happens.
Thanks for working hard at it.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Some success stories. You know, you paved the road for this program.
Got some hard souls.
Cole Casey was really, in the beginning, just motivated to come to the Wild Horse program to get out of the jail for 8 hours and to get extra food trays. Little did he imagine that the Wild Horse program and Zephyr would transform his life.
I feel as though I've taken on something very special. I want to do right by the inmate and the horse both. I think it was a wonderful thing that it changed him, and I don't want to let him down. I want to continue what he started with this horse because he's a great horse and he deserves the best. He's a very sweet and loving horse. He's just kind of a cool dude. Easy. He just has a really kind of chill personality. He's easy to be around. He's very lovable. You're gonna be silly. He's just a really neat guy. I like him. I plan, yes, to be his forever home. Absolutely. Good. I feel so good. Yes. Wow. Thirsty? You're goofy. You're goofy.
There's no greater joy in that, and knowing that someone is fully satisfied with the horse that we've started and trained, and they're having the same value and love and care for that horse that we had, you know, and to know that that horse is probably in a forever home, that's very gratifying. That's exactly what we want to do. People look at these Mustangs as worthless, as scrubs, as problems that we have in America that need to be taken care of some way, shape, or form, when if they just give them half a chance, they'll have a friend for life. And we have, in society, have a tendency to, someone messed up, we have a tendency to write them off. You know, you're going to be labeled or branded, just like these horses are, as you're an ex-con. Why should I give you a chance?
Give me your hit. You good boy?
Well, see what happens when you do give a guy a chance?
Good boy. Fix that for you right now.
I mean, we weren't coddling him or, you know, making everything great for him. He still had to do the work. But we helped him to believe in himself and to give him that opportunity to say, I'm not what I was, I'm what I want to be.